Hi, kindergarten. It's Miss Cliff. Today we're going to work on long vowels with silent E. The long vowel we'll be working on today is A. With silent E, when we see an A and a silent E, the A says its name, A. So on your worksheet today, we're going to go ahead and we are going to highlight all the words that you see with A and silent E. So I want you to pause the video and go ahead and highlight each word that you see that has an A with a silent E. You can use a highlighter or a light crayon for this activity. Let's go ahead and do that now. Let's go ahead and double check that you found all of the words that have A with a silent E, and I'm going to highlight them, and you can go ahead and check your worksheet with me. Cake, lake, Dave, Jake, lake, Jane, lake, Jane, gave, cake, take, lake, Dave, Jake, Jane, place, cake, cave, shade, cave, cake, plates, ate, Jake, face. So I want you to go ahead and double check that you have highlighted all of those words that have A with a silent E. As I went through and highlighted, I also read them out loud. I know if I cover up the silent E that the A is going to make a short sound ah. When I add the silent E, it's going to make its long sound A. For example, cake, lake. We hear the A say its name, A. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to read through this passage, and I want you to read along with me. Point to the words as you're reading with me. Here we go. Dave and Jake went to the lake. Jane was at the lake too. Jane's mom gave her a cake to take to the lake. Dave, Jake, and Jane looked for a place to have cake. They found a cave. They got out of the sun in the shade of the cave. They put the cake on plates and ate. You could see frosting on Jake's face. Now that I have read one time, I get to color in the smiley face. If you read along with me, you can color in your smiley face too. Now I want you to pause the video and I want you to go ahead and reread all by yourself. Nice job, reader. Now that you've read all by yourself, you can go ahead and color in that other smiley face. We are going to go through and read one last time, only this time we have some questions to answer. I'm going to flip my paper over to the back. Now, I've folded my paper in half. You definitely don't need to do that. The first question I see here is, who went to the lake? Now I'm going to go back to my passage and I want to find out who went to the lake. And I want you to use your pencil and circle the names of the people who went to the lake. Let's do that now. I know that Dave and Jake went to the lake. So I'm going to circle Dave and Jake. Let's see who else. Who else went? Jane's mom gave her a cake to take to the lake. So who else went to the lake? Jane. So I need to circle her name too. Did anybody else go to the lake other than Dave and Jake and Jane? I think that's it. So now I'm going to answer the question. Who went to the lake? Dave, Jake, and Jane went to the lake. Period. Make sure that when you're writing your complete sentence, you begin with a capital letter at the beginning, that you have spaces between your words, and a period at the end. I want you to make sure that you're using your sounds the best that you can to write the words that you want. Let's look at the second question. What did Jane take to the lake? Now we're going to underline what Jane took to the lake. So let's go back to our passage. And anytime that you need to pause the video because you're still working on writing your sentence or you need to go back and reread, you can pause at any time. I'm going to go back to my passage now. And I'm going to look in the text for what Jane brought to the lake. Now, I remember it said here, Jane's mom gave her a, what's that word? Cake. She brought a cake to the lake, so I'm going to underline cake. Are you doing it along with me? Great job. I'm going to turn back to my paper, and now I'm going to write my sentence about what did Jane take to the lake. Jane took a cake to the lake. Make sure you have a capital at the beginning, spaces between your words, and a period at the end. We are looking for complete sentences. Kids that are getting ready to go to first grade know how to write in complete sentences. So we are not just writing cake, we're writing a full sentence. So make sure that you are doing that. Let's go on to number 3. Why did they eat cake in a cave? So now we need to go back into the text and do a check. Let's look through the text about why they were eating cake in the cave. They got out of the sun in the shade of the cave. They wanted to eat in the shade, didn't they? They were hot in the sun, and the shade is a little bit cooler. Have you ever been in the shade under a tree? Yeah, it feels cooler when it's very sunny out. So let's go ahead and write our complete sentence on the back of our paper. They ate in the shade, right? They wanted to be in the shade. They wanted to be in the shade. Now, when you're rewriting those words with magic E, make sure that you double check that they have a silent E at the end. If I'm sounding out the word shade, aid, I don't want to forget that silent E because otherwise it'll just be shad. Do I want it to say shad? No, I want it to say shade. It says shade with a silent E. When you're done, you can go back and color your last smiley since you went back and reread in the text to find the answers to the questions. Nice work working on silent E today, friends. See you next time.